The meeting between Pakistan Cricket Board Chief Shahryar Khan and BCCI President Jagmohan Dalmiya has just concluded in Kolkata, and straight after the crucial meeting, Shahryar Khan spoke exclusively to Headlines Today's consulting sports editor Boria Majumdar. Listen in to what he had said about the possibility of Indo-Pakistan bilateral series being on the cards.
I'm joined by Shahryar Khan, one of the most illustrious cricket administrators of all time, and now here as a goodwill emissary to talk to Jagmohan Dalmiya and take the cause of India-Pakistan cricket forward. Will there be a resumption? Pakistan Cricket Board is hopeful, and these are the questions I'm going to ask Mr. Khan. Welcome to India.
Thank you.
I know you did not have a very pleasant experience last night in Kolkata, but such things happen. How hopeful are you about India-Pakistan cricket?
Well, it's not that I am hopeful, I am very positive that we should resume our bilateral cricketing relationship. And I feel the time has come when the two boards should make a clear decision that we should be playing each other. If the approval of the government is required, fine. But we should make a very clear decision that our people, our public, the world wants to see Pakistan and India play cricket matches with each other. So that is why I'm here.
So, if I understand right, there is also a window based on the MOU that has been signed in December.
Yes, there is a window. The window says that we must play each other over 8 years, 5 times. And since India has to come to us, the first visit, the first series will be with Pakistan acting as hosts. Now we know that because of the security situation, India will not be able to come to Pakistan right now. The security situation is improving very fast now. But we know that right now, India will not be able to come for a full tour. We therefore have decided in the MOU that you mentioned that we will play in UAE. Test matches, one-dayers, T20s. And therefore in December, when this series is scheduled to take place, there is much hope and expectation that this series will take place, according to the MOU, in UAE in December this year. We want to make sure that this happens now.
You know, there is also a talk in the Indian board and in your meeting with Mr. Dalmiya that if there is a possibility of this tour is played in India, will you agree? I mean, on a revenue sharing basis, will you give that a consideration?
Anything can be considered with a view to resuming the Pakistan-India series. Just let me remind you that recently when we played each other in the World Cup, all tickets at Adelaide were sold out within 20 minutes.
Correct.
And you know, this means that the world is looking forward to Pakistan-India matches. Let me add another example, that the task force report that has been prepared on getting Pakistan back into the fold, as it were, that task force report was prepared in 2012, 3 years ago, and it stated very clearly that the series between Pakistan and India must be resumed because they are more important than even the Ashes. So given that as a basic factor, and given the fact that the public all over the world is waiting for Pakistan-India to resume, I think the time has come, and I hope that the BCCI will recommit itself to this series in December.
You know, and having spoken to members of the BCCI, you met Anurag, you met Mr. Dalmiya. I know there is a certain commitment on the part of the board also, as in they are keen for a resumption. Obviously, it depends on the government. The BCCI has been pretty favorable, and you and Mr. Dalmiya share a fantastic relationship going back.
Yes, we have a very, very warm, nostalgic, cooperative relationship. I have great respect for Mr. Dalmiya. We were very close during the first tenure that he had, and I had just become chairman of the Pakistan Cricket Board, and there were many occasions, but I think the most important occasion was his desire to go through with the 2004 series. Now, I regard that as the landmark series of all time between Pakistan and India. Now, I know what it generated, the goodwill, the public mixed with each other. I was asked, before the Indian team came, I was asked, sir, they said, should we have Indian supporters in one stand and Pakistan supporters in the other so that there's no incident? I scratched my head for a while. I said, no, put them together. And they were put together. And I can tell you there were scenes of great friendship in those stands. All Indian supporters and Pakistani supporters mingling together, flags together, banners together. I can't tell you what a tremendous example of camaraderie and goodwill there was in the 2004 series.
My final question. I mean, this series obviously will mean a lot to the cricketing fraternity and cricketing public globally. So tell me, if it's a revenue sharing model, if it's a neutral venue model, if anything, PCB is committed to resumption.
PCB is committed to resumption. We already have a formula for it. We would like to follow that. But we consider anything to get this process started again. So, I mean, there we are. We want the MOU, the conditions of the MOU to be confirmed on both sides. MOU clearly states that the first series will be Pakistan home in UAE, 3 test matches, 5 one-dayers, etc. And this will be wonderful. And you know, in UAE, you have people who can come there from both countries. It's not so difficult. And you've got people settled there. So it'll be a lot of fun, I can tell you.
As you've heard, I mean, Mr. Khan is absolutely committed to the resumption of this marquee cricket series, which he considers to be much more important than even the Ashes. Whether it's in UAE, whether it's in a neutral venue, whether it's on Indian soil on a revenue sharing basis, we've got to wait and see whether the government commits to it. But the fact of the matter is, Pakistan Cricket Board is mighty keen, and if they get the support of the BCCI, Indian fans will be in for a treat, as will Pakistan fans come December of 2015.
And let me now straight cut across to Boria Majumdar, Consulting Sports Editor, TV Today Group. In fact, Boria got us that exclusive interview with Shahryar Khan. Also joining me is Radhika Tongar right here from our newsroom. Boria, first of all, a great catch. And then Mr. Shahryar Khan was more than interested, more than willing. Has there been any, forward movement as far as the Indian board is concerned?
I can tell you, Mr. Dalmiya was also keen. I mean, the BCCI, Anurag Thakur met Shahryar Khan in March. Today, Mr. Dalmiya met Shahryar Khan. The BCCI, on its part, has never been close to the idea of a resumption. But as I said on my show yesterday with Radhika, the decision ultimately, Ankit, is with the government. If the government okays it, there are 3 possibilities. The one, on Pakistan soil, you can rule it out. But the 2 other possibilities, on Indian soil, on a revenue sharing model, on neutral soil, maybe in the UAE, both are possible. If the government gives a green light, the BCCI is more than happy to go that extra yard and make sure Pakistan plays India in December.
Radhika, coming to you, also on this, what is a sense of, a kind of reaction that you pick up from the players? Are the players also looking forward to a India-Pakistan tie? Of course, it's always high pressure. We knew how the World Cup went, but would the players be very keen if a series like that does take place?
Ankit, as far as the team is concerned, they will obviously do whatever is directed by the Board of Control for Cricket in India. But like you mentioned, an India-Pak series sort of contains a lot of hype. The fans have been waiting for it for a very long time. It's been in the reckoning for a long time. And like Boria also mentioned, it is something that both the boards are willing to look forward to. It is something that both the boards want to go ahead with. But like Boria made abundantly clear yesterday in our show and today as well, that it is a decision which rests with with the Indian government. Obviously, there are options that have been lined up, that have been discussed, and in that exclusive interview with us that Boria did, Shahryar Khan speaks about being open to all those options. As far as the team is concerned, they would obviously be willing. There's a lot of hype as far as India is concerned. We do not see Pakistan players in the IPL as well. So a lot of that is there. But yes, we need to see what happens as far as the Indian government is concerned.
Yes.
We need to see how the Board of Control goes and interacts with the government, and if this series actually does happen soon enough.
Right. Boria, on that, how does the board in fact take it to the Indian government? You spoke that it was Anurag Thakur who also met Shahryar Khan. He's also an MP from the ruling party. Do you see anything happening on that front as of now? Of course, there are a lot of other hitches as far as the Indian-Pakistan relations are concerned. But do you believe that Anurag Thakur can turn it around, because he would have probably he can reach the top level in the country right now?
Yes, I do, and Mr. Jaitley will play a key role. Shahryar Khan spoke, off the record while I was having a chat with him over lunch. He also confirmed that he's going to Delhi from now. I mean, now he's sort of on his way to the airport in the next 20 minutes, Ankit. He'll take a 7:30, 8 o'clock flight, and he's in Delhi for the next 2 days. There will be back-channel talks. There will be meetings. He wants to meet Anurag Thakur once again. He also wants to meet Mr. Jaitley. And Mr. Jaitley, who has been a very influential member in the board, will play a very, very important role whether this series is resumed in December or not. So Mr. Khan made it very clear to me. He wants to meet Anurag. He wants to meet Mr. Jaitley, wants to discuss the possibility now that he's got the BCCI on board. The BCCI is not averse to the idea at all. Mr. Dalmiya and Mr. Jaitley are great friends. Rajiv Shukla will also play a keen role. So all of these people over the next couple of days will come together to take this forward. Whether or not it happens, government call, but there is real keenness on the part of the PCB and the BCCI.
The politicians, of course, are going to decide whether it takes place or not. Radhika, very quickly coming to you. Also tell us in terms of revenue, what sort of revenue does a India-Pakistan series would generate? Of course, it's a great interest. We heard Shahryar Khan saying there to Boria that it's much more awaited than the Ashes itself. In terms of business, what are we looking at?
You can obviously, Ankit, imagine the last time these two countries played was around 2012, 2013, and a series like this is something that even the host broadcaster is really looking forward to. They are also pushing the case to the BCCI. Massive revenues. Any India series that is being played, you can imagine the kind of money that is generated is massive for the BCCI. But with this series, with the fact that an India-Pakistan series will probably take place after a gap of a couple of years, with the team touring India, there's a lot of money that is riding on the series, and it's not just the advertisers, it's not just the BCCI which is going to make money. We also have to understand that the host broadcaster is really keen on having this series as well. So obviously a lot of interest in this series, not just from the fans, financially as well. Both boards, remember the PCB is looking, they are in sort of financially the board is not that strong. They haven't had a team storing them for a long time. So obviously the PCB will make a lot of money from this, and that is why they are willing to experiment any sort of option that is given to them. Like Boria mentioned and like Shahryar Khan mentioned in the interview, they are willing to play in India, even though they hold the rights to host the first series, the MOU that has been signed. So a lot of money, obviously, for all parties concerned as far as the India-Pakistan series.
Lot of revenue, of course, money being a very important fact. Pakistan board is not doing too well. And they would be hoping that Shahryar Khan can somehow push the right buttons, and for the fans also a big India-Pakistan series, as Boria also mentioned, somewhere around December could be a reality. Thank you so much, Boria Majumdar, for getting us that exclusive interview. Also, my colleague Radhika Tonga for bringing us up to date with the entire India-Pakistan cricketing ties.